Attention, passionate Dallas Cowboys fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East, and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another championship run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and fellow Dallas Cowboys fans. Let's get to the news. You know, every year around this time, we find ourselves in that slow, almost eerie period of the NFL offseason. Roster moves are mostly done, training camps are still weeks away, and the news cycle tends to slow down to a crawl. But even in these quiet times, the rumors, the speculations, and the buzz keep bubbling just under the surface. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. And right now, one name is dominating the headlines, or at least trying to, even if there's no real fire behind the smoke. That name is Trey Hendrickson. Yes, the reigning NFL sacks leader, who, by the way, is currently a Cincinnati Bengal, but who somehow, in the world of NFL rumors, is being linked to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, let me clarify something right off the bat. There's no official move, no confirmed trade, and certainly no serious negotiations happening at this particular moment. But that doesn't stop the rumor mill from spinning, especially when the offseason is slow, and fans are eager for any bit of news that could hint at a change, a splash, or even just a new name in the mix. So, what exactly is happening here? Well, a lot of so-called insiders and sports analysts have been throwing Hendrickson's name into headlines, suggesting that the Cowboys might be interested, that they re-pursuing him, or that there's some sort of connection. Words like urged, proposed, blockbuster, and connected are thrown around, but let us be real, there is absolutely no real fire behind this smoke. It's mostly just that, smoke. The latest to add to this narrative is a website called Last Word on Sports, which, I gotta say, loves to stir the pot during this offbeat period. They claim that the Cowboys have been stacking up on talent defensively since hiring their new defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, who, by the way, has an impressive track record. They mention recent signings like Jack Sanborn and a trade for Kenneth Murray Jr., suggesting that these moves could be signs of a team trying to re-energize its defense after losing DeMarcus Lawrence. But here's the thing, these moves, while solid, don't necessarily point to a pursuit of Hendrickson. It's a stretch, and honestly, it's more wishful thinking than anything concrete. The rationale from Woes goes on to say that the Cowboys might want to extend Micah Parsons, and that maybe, just maybe, Hendrickson could be a piece to boost the defensive line to that next level. But let us be honest, folks, the Cowboys are not in the market for big splashes right now. They refocused on managing their salary cap. They have around $32 million available, which is decent but not enough to break the bank on a guy like Hendrickson, who, by the way, is going to want a contract that could easily top $30 million a year. So, this idea of the Cowboys just swooping in and grabbing Hendrickson is more fantasy football material than actual NFL strategy. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Hendrickson, who had an incredible year in 2024 with 5 sacks, is demanding a new contract. Yes, planning to hold out of training camp, which starts soon, by the way, Cowboys fans. They report for camp on July 21 in Oxnard, California, and he is seeking a hefty raise. The Bengals, understandably, aren't just going to give it to him that easily. They've given him permission to seek a trade, but let us be honest, the cost is going to be steep. Hendrickson will likely command upwards of $30 million per year on the open market, and that's a big investment for any team, especially one like the Cowboys, who are carefully managing their cap space and still negotiating with their star linebacker Micah Parsons. Now, some fans might be thinking, but what if? What if the Cowboys did pull the trigger? What if they made a bold move for Hendrickson? Honestly, it's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely at this stage. The Cowboys have a strong core on defense with Parsons, who is already under a lucrative contract, and they're in negotiations with him right now. They've also got other priorities, re-signing Tyler Smith, developing their young players, and building a balanced roster. Plus, let us not forget that the Cowboys are no strangers to bold moves, but they are also pragmatic. Spending $30 million on a pass rusher when you're already negotiating with Parsons, who is a cornerstone for the future, just doesn't make financial sense. The salary cap is real, and even with $32 million, you can just throw it all at one player. The front office is smarter than that. They know the importance of staying flexible, and this kind of high-profile move would probably be reserved for a player who is already in the building, not one who is still on the market, demanding a trade and a huge paycheck. But hey, let us indulge in the fun for a second. Imagine Hendrickson in a Cowboys uniform rushing the quarterback in Jerry World. It's a tantalizing thought. Isn't it? But it's just that, a thought. It's a fantasy, a scenario that fuels the off-season chatter but doesn't have any concrete footing. The reality is, Hendrickson is likely to stay with Cincinnati unless the Bengals get blown away by an offer, which they probably won't, given the current market. And the Cowboys, meanwhile, are focused on their current roster and cap situation, with no real indication that they seriously in the Hendrickson sweepstakes. So, what does this all mean for the Cowboys and their fans? Well, it's a reminder that the offseason is a time of hope and speculation. Fans love to dream about big names, about game changers who can elevate the team to new heights. And while Hendrickson is undoubtedly a game changer, the reality of NFL roster building is more nuanced. The Cowboys have a solid foundation, a talented roster, and a strategic plan. They're rebuilding through the draft, developing young players like Micah Parsons, and managing their cap with care. And that's the key: careful, strategic planning. The Cowboys aren't going to make a reckless move just because a rumor says they should. They have their eyes on the prize, on that elusive 6th Lombardi trophy. They know that building a championship team is a marathon, not a sprint, and that some of the best moves happen behind the scenes, quietly, with patience and precision. Now, speaking of Parsons, he continues to impress everyone with his leadership and on-field dominance. There are reports that rival teams are eyeing him, trying to gauge whether the Cowboys might be willing to part ways, though that seems highly unlikely, considering his importance to the team. Still, it's a sign of how valuable Parsons is, not just to the Cowboys, but across the league. He has a generational talent, and the Cowboys are lucky to have him. Negotiations for a new contract are ongoing, and fans are hopeful that Parsons stays in Dallas for the foreseeable future, anchoring that defense for years to come. As we look ahead, the Cowboys are gearing up for training camp, and there's a buzz of anticipation. Fans are eager to see how the new additions gel with the existing core, how young players like Tyler Smith and others develop, and whether this team can finally take that next step toward consistent playoff success. Everyone is talking about the NFC East, about rivalries renewed and new challengers emerging, but the Cowboys remain focused on their own path, confident in their talent and their coaching staff. And you know what? That's what makes this team so special. The potential is there, the talent is undeniable, and the hunger to get back to the top is palpable. Whether or not Hendrickson becomes a Cowboy, one thing is certain: this team is building something that could be truly special. And as fans, we're all riding along for the ride, hoping that each offseason move, rumor, and headline brings us closer to that ultimate goal. So in conclusion, while the Hendrickson to Dallas story remains just that, a story, a rumor, a tantalizing, what if it's a perfect example of the offseason excitement? It reminds us that football is a game of patience, strategy, and sometimes just a little bit of wishful thinking. But one thing is for sure: the Cowboys are always in the mix, always looking to improve, and always a team to watch. Their focus is on winning, on building a team that can compete with anyone, and on the relentless pursuit of that 6th Lombardi. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What is your take on this Hendrickson rumor? Do you think there is any real chance the Cowboys make a move? Or do you believe this is just off-season chatter? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back very soon with more updates, more news, and more insights into everything Cowboys, so stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep that Cowboys spirit alive. We're in this together, and the best is yet to come.